A potential client, I'll call her Diane, met with me a few months ago and she said, "Can you review my Social Security statement with me?" So, she pulled up her statement and she'd circled on the statement $3,500, which was the amount that it said she'd get at age 70. And so, she's like, "That's what I'll get in Social Security if I wait to age 70, right?" And I had to tell her, maybe. That number isn't a promise. It's an estimate built on a number of assumptions about how the rest of your working life is going to go. And Diane was about ready to change 2 of those assumptions, and she didn't know how it was going to impact her benefit. So, by the end of this video, you'll know the 3 assumptions hiding inside your Social Security statement and how each one can push your real number higher or lower than what's printed on the page. But first, my name is Mikhail. I'm a certified financial planning professional, and this channel is dedicated to helping 1 million people retire without worry. For most of us, Social Security is the largest source of guaranteed income that we'll have in retirement. So when you take that estimate, right, that Social Security estimate, and you're dropping into your plan, you're leaning on that number pretty heavily because that is a big component of your retirement plan. But I've often discovered that people don't understand that that statement is built on a number of assumptions. First of all, assumption 1, it assumes you keep earning at least what you're earning today every year until you claim. The statement takes your most recent earnings and then carries that number forward. So, if you're making $100,000 a year at age 62, it carries that number forward as if you'll earn that each year until you start your benefit. But your benefit isn't based on this year's paycheck. It's based, like I've talked about in other videos extensively, it's based on your 35 highest earning years adjusted for inflation, and then it's added up and averaged across 35 years. I'm not going to go into the whole formula here. I've done that in other videos. So, if you stop working earlier than the statement assumes, you retire, right? Or you go to part-time. Those high years that it's counting on don't show up. And if you don't have a full 35 years of earnings, the formula fills in a lot of empty slots with zeros, which can pull down your average. Right? That was Diana's first surprise. Her statement assumed that she'd earn her current salary every year until she claimed, but she was planning to go part-time next year. Now, here's the nuance. If you already have a solid 35 years of earnings history on the book, dropping 1 is not going to matter, right? Your best 35 years are locked in, but this matters most if you have significant gaps. So what you can do is log into SSA.gov and pull your actual earnings record and look at what you've actually earned throughout the years. And if you've got 32, 33, 34 great earning years, working 1 or 2 more years part-time is not going to matter. But if you've got 20 great earnings years and your estimate assumes you're going to work another 10-year earning, $75,000 or $100,000 a year, quitting early or dropping that number down could impact your long-term assumption. So that's the first assumption this is built on. In fact, there's a very rudimentary calculator on the Social Security Administration's website that will allow you to put in a lower income, right? Half what you're earning now, or 0. It doesn't allow you to move the numbers around that much. But if you want to see, like, if I retire today, how is it going to impact my long-term benefit? How is it going to impact my long-term benefit at age 62, age 67, and age 70? So you can kind of play with that. And I'll actually show you a screenshot of that calculator in just a bit. But just to recap, right, if you log in to the Social Security Administration website today, particularly if you're younger and you see a number, right, $3,500 a month is what your estimated benefit is going to be. If you quit working today, that number could be significantly less. So that's the first assumption. The second assumption also trips people up. So it's worth paying attention to this one. It assumes you work and wait to the age shown. So let me explain. Right? Every estimate on the page. Right? age 62 number, the full retirement age number, the age 70 number, right? The benefits you're going to earn at those dates assumes that you keep working at your current pay all the way to that age. So if you look at, say, the age 70 figure, it's bigger than the age 62 figure, and there's two reasons for that. And so we have to kind of pull that apart. The first reason is there is a reward for waiting to claim, right? We all know about this formula. Essentially, every year you wait, your benefit is basically bumped up by about 8%. So, if you claim at your full retirement age, that's 67. If you were born in 1960 or later, you get 100% of the benefit, right? If you wait to age 70, you get a bit more, and if you claim earlier, it's a bit less. It roughly equals about a 24% bump by age 70. If you claim early at age 62, you take about a 30% permanent cut. This is not new information to most of you watching, but here's the key part. You get that waiting bonus just by delaying when you claim. You don't have to keep working to earn it. But the second reason is also the extra earnings. The age 70 number also assumes, right, 8 more years of paychecks than age 62 does, but those extra years only raise your actual benefit if they replace or lower 0 years in your top 35 years. What I talked about with that first assumption. So it's basically those two things coming together. But sometimes people don't understand the interplay. So if you've got a full 35 years on record of pretty decent earnings and you stop working at age 62, that estimate that you see on the page for waiting until age 70, that's probably accurate. That's probably accurate as long as you wait until age 70 to claim. The waiting does the work. But if you've got gaps in your record, it can really impact you. Particularly, like for example, if you're an entrepreneur, if you were to look at my Social Security statement, there are some really embarrassing years on there where it has a 0, or a very low number, because when I started my business, I earned 0 for a couple of years. And so those are not going to help my Social Security benefit. But when I log in, it assumes I'm going to keep working for another 20-25 years. And so the number that I see on the page assumes that I'm going to keep earning what I am today for the next 20 or 25 years. But if I quit working at age 62, my age 70 number that I see on the screen may be lower, because I've got a number of very low years in my Social Security calculation. Part of that age 70 projection is propped up by their assumptions about you continuing to work till age 70 at your current salary, like I talked about in the first step. So if you stop early, that number could be a bit lower than what you see on the statement. Here's what I want you to take away from this assumption. Retiring and claiming two different decisions. Oh, often people misunderstand this, right? The date you claim your Social Security and the date you retire do not have to be the same date. But the statement that you see, or the estimate you receive from the Social Security Administration, it assumes you make the latest version of both. It assumes you retire at age 70 and you claim at age 70, right? Assuming you're looking at that number. And so the thing you want to do is separate those two questions. But when do I stop working? And separately, when do I want to claim? Then you need to consider, does that actually impact my estimate? Not the statement that they sent you, but your actual estimate. Like I said, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a screenshot of the calculator and how it works because it will help you separate those two out. So, we've covered the first two assumptions that can make your number look higher than it really is, and the third one we're about ready to discuss, right? It works the other way. It can quietly shrink the check you actually receive. But before I go on, if this content is useful, I know this is annoying, but can you click like and subscribe? It really helps the algorithms, the Google or YouTube overlords understand that this is content worth watching. Thank you. Okay, the third assumption. It assumes you're not working while you collect, right? So, the statement doesn't show you the earnings test, and it catches people by surprise who plan to retire early and to claim early while continuing to work part-time. So, here's the rule really quickly. More of you probably know this, but if you claim before your full retirement age and you're still working, even part-time, Social Security holds back a part of your benefits once your earnings pass a limit. In 2026, that limit is $24,480. And they withhold $1 for every $2 you earn above it, right? So if you earn $10,000, they're going to withhold $5,000 once you move over and above that earnings test. So if you claim at age 64 and you earn $50,000 for a job, that's $25,500 over the limit. So Social Security is going to withhold around $12,760 that year, and that's money that's not going to show up in your paycheck. So here's two things that a lot of people don't realize. Part-time work count, if you cross that line, and second of all, and this is the good news, the moment you reach your full retirement age, the earnings test goes away completely. And after that, you can earn any amount and it doesn't impact your benefit at all. And here's the other good news. The withheld money, it's not gone. At your full retirement age, Social Security is going to recalculate and gradually credit it back in. The catch is that getting all of it back depends on how long you live, right? It's not actually guaranteed because it gets paid over time. And if you end up passing early, it's going to impact whether you get all of that money back. So, if you plan to keep working before your full retirement age, you've got two big choices, right? Wait to claim until the earnings test no longer applies, right? Your full retirement age or claim anyway and budget for the holding. So it's not a surprise, right? Some people budget, assuming they're going to get the number in that statement, and when they keep working and get that amount, it's going to be reduced. So, here's what I told Diane, and here's the same thing I'd tell you. Your statement is a great starting point. In fact, it's going to be pretty close, but it's not the final answer. It's an estimate making assumptions about a future that you get to decide. If you're nearing retirement and you're curious about how retiring today might impact your future payments, go to ssa.gov, log into your account, and then you'll see, I'll show you a screenshot here, that there's this little tool that will let you adjust a couple of things. You can adjust what your future earnings are going to be, right? It doesn't allow you to do it, use different numbers for different years, but, if you're thinking about going to 0 or 50% today, it will let you see, does that actually impact my future Social Security earnings? And then you can also play around with age. So your statement typically shows right age 62, full retirement age, and then age 70. But you could play around with what does it look like if I retire at age 68 or age 69. So you can see how it will impact your plan. Again, this isn't perfect, but it's an estimate that will help you better understand your situation. So I'm curious if anything in this video surprised you, right? Is anything like you're like, I did not know that? And second of all, if any of you have played with the calculator before, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And finally, this video just scratched the surface about how your benefit is calculated. But I have another video where I do an incredibly deep dive into how your Social Security benefit is calculated, and you can watch that now.